There's a strange feeling a lot of people struggle to explain. Life looks full on the outside. More options, more convenience, more entertainment than ever before. And yet something still feels missing. Not because life is bad, and not because you're ungrateful, but because no matter how much you add, it never quite feels like enough. What's happening isn't a personal failure. It's a mismatch between modern life and how human behavior evolved. For most of human history, more was rare. More food meant survival. More resources meant safety. More opportunities meant real progress. So our brains learned a simple rule: more equals better. But modern life broke that equation. Today, more doesn't arrive as relief. It arrives as noise. Endless choices, endless updates, endless stimulation with no clear stopping point. Your brain keeps expecting satisfaction, but instead, it gets overload. And overload doesn't feel rewarding. It feels exhausting. That's why modern life creates motion without arrival. You're always moving, always scrolling, always improving something. But there's no moment where the system says you've arrived. No natural finish line, no built-in sense of completion. So instead of satisfaction, you feel restlessness. Instead of fulfillment, you feel pressure. Not because you're doing life wrong, but because the environment never lets the loop close. Another part of the problem is how constant input changes what enough even means. Your brain evolved to work in contrast: effort, then rest; scarcity, then relief; silence, then sound. Modern life removes the contrast. When everything is available all the time, nothing feels special for very long. Pleasure becomes flatter. Excitement fades faster. And your brain keeps asking for more intensity just to feel the same thing it used to feel naturally. That's not greed. That's adaptation. The uncomfortable part is what happens next. When satisfaction keeps slipping away, people don't usually slow down. They speed up. They add more goals, more content, more productivity, more optimization. But the problem was never a lack of effort. It was a lack of meaning and closure. Human behavior depends on knowing when something is done. Finished conversations, completed tasks, clear endings that tell the brain, this chapter can rest now. Without those signals, everything stays open. Every responsibility lingers. Every goal feels unfinished, and your nervous system never fully stands down. That low-level tension adds up. It's why even quiet moments can feel uncomfortable, and why doing nothing doesn't always feel like rest anymore. Modern life rarely gives you the signal that something is complete. And without it, your nervous system stays slightly on edge, always scanning for the next thing that might finally make things feel whole. So what's the answer? It's not minimalism. It's not quitting modern life. And it's definitely not forcing gratitude. The shift is much quieter than that. Satisfaction doesn't come from adding more. It comes from allowing experiences to have edges. A beginning, a middle, and an end. When moments don't blur together, your brain can actually register them as meaningful. It can file them away as something that happened, something that mattered, something that doesn't need to stay open anymore. That's when relief shows up, not as excitement, but as calm. And that calm is what enough was always pointing toward. The sense of never enough starts to soon, not because life suddenly has less in it, but because your brain finally gets the signal it's been missing. Enough isn't found at the edge of more. It's found in the moments that are allowed to finish.